Hey everyone, Kristen here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my little, I guess you want to say like little tips I figured out on how to use Red Heart's all-in-one granny square yarn. Ever since it came out, a lot of people have had problems with it. I also had issues with it to where I literally just threw the yarn into my cabinet and it messed with it for quite a while. Then I found another pattern that was just regular blanket, just using like, it was like a moss stitch, and it was pretty cool. But then I was like, you know what, I still really want to try to make squares out of this yarn instead. So I sat down with the yarn and started messing with it, and I think I pretty much have it figured out. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, this is I'm not sure if you guys heard that, but it is thundering here, so hopefully I don't lose power as I am recording. Just my light here. So this is the yarn, and it is to where you can make a granny square with 5 different colors without having to change your yarn. I thought it was pretty cool when it came out, and I finally was able to get some. And like I said, I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. Even following the pattern, I could not figure it out. So I decided, like I said, I took it in my own hands and worked it up a little bit, and now I got it figured out. And show you, this is what they look like. Yes, there are some spots like right here, but that is because I don't know why the yarn, it was just the way the yarn colored. Like, you'll have some spots of yarn where it's supposed to be white, but there's pink specks in it. So that is something on their end of when they did that. But I actually got them to work. I was really surprised. Let's see here. Here's another one. So it says you can get 14 squares out of one skein. I've done 4 in this color, which is the, oh, just dropped my hook. Does it say what color this is? It just has all the colors that are in it. So let me just show you guys. So that's that. I just dropped my hook, so hang on a second. You see my messy living room, and you see I still have a Christmas sticker still hanging up. It is what it is. This one, this is the yarn I used to make a different type of blanket, and I decided to give it a try. But as you can see, they're color bleeds. So there's no avoiding that. It's just how the yarn was made. I know for Lisa's colorway, it was really bad in a lot of spots. But it's still really cool. I really like it. This is also another method you can do, is pull out all the yarn until you get to the end of it and just ball it up. But this is just because I had to take it apart from my blanket. Anyways, getting off track here. So I'm going to show you how I figured out how to do this. In their pattern, it says to leave a 4-inch tail, chain 4, slip knot into the first, make circle, chain 3, and so on from there. I start the same way, but then there's a little bit of differences I do from there on. So I am going to show you exactly how I make these squares and how I was able to finally figure out how to get these to work, and hopefully helps you figure out how to get this yarn to work. All right? Okay, so I'm going to try and show you how to make the square with my little tips. My lighting is not the greatest because we have a storm, as you heard at the beginning of the video. Possibly heard the beginning of the video with thunder. But we're going to try. These are the notes I had written down so I can remember myself on how I did everything. So if you want to pause and read it. So we're going to go through. Now, I learned with the starting chain, while leaving a tail, each one is not always going to be the same. Like, all of them are different. So, like, say this one is about 8. This one is obviously a lot less. 6. So it's very different, and I think that is because when you finish off the square in the white, you obviously are really close to the end of the white. So I just clip off some of the purple because there is extra purple, and you know, it's fine, it still works. Like somehow this one I ended up with more white left over, so I didn't have to clip into the purple. Like, it's just very weird how this works out. Like this one, I think this was my very first one I did up. I was afraid to clip into the purple, so I went like right at the very end. So you can see that. Yeah, right there. And this one, at the end of the white, clipped off quite a bit. Which, in reality, now that I think about it, I didn't have to because there was that much left over. But, so we're going to get started. Alright, I am going to use my 5.5 hook, which is an eye. Like I said, I am sorry if the lighting is not the greatest. I am trying my best right now. And we're going to use this one, because it's the best one's going to show up on the camera right now. Alright, move my notes off to the side. So let's pull some of this out, at least up to the next color. Alright. So we're going to start with our chain 4, as my notes fall down. Okay. So I don't really measure my tail. Let's see here. Oops. But let's see how much this is left. Just as an example. Let's see how we go from there. It's about 6.5. Okay. I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See if we can zoom in a little bit. I think it's a little too much. Nope. Zoom out. There we go. And then you're going to go to your first one. Make a slip stitch. Sorry about that. Slip stitch. And you're going to form a circle. And then you're going to chain 3. Now, I found for this round for myself, my tension has to be not loose but not tight. It has to be that in between, which sometimes it's hard to figure out. But after several practices, you kind of get the hang of it, of which is an in between. So after the chain 3, we're going to do 2 double crochets. And then we're going to do a chain 3 to make that corner. I'm going to do 3 more double crochets. Chain 3. 3 double crochets. Okay. Now, this is when I like to look at my yarn and see how much purple I have left. Okay, so I have about this much. Now, I still have to do a chain 3 and 3 double crochets and another chain 3. That should be enough. If not, I will undo it and then maybe tighten it up or loosen it up depending on how much I have left. So we're going to see what we got. So, zoom in a little bit. Come on, phone, work with me. There we go. So I'm going to do chain 3. Okay, we got 1 and 3 double crochets. So 1, 2. Oh yeah, I think we're going to be good. And 3. Okay. So this is how much I have left. So technically you have from here till, I gotta look at the light better here. About here, I would say. So let's see what it looks like. 1, 2. Nope, I don't like that because once I get into the second one, I don't like that. So that means I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So we still have 2 clusters. And I'm going to tighten this up just a little bit. Just go a little bit tighter. And it should work out. That's one thing I learned is if I'm like a little bit short, I just got to go back just a few clusters, take them out, and just tighten them up a little bit, and it usually works out pretty good. 2 and 3. So we got that much left. We're going to chain 3, 3, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3, which you can use a stitch marker if you like. So there it is. There's round 1. I personally, I am okay with this. You know, you may see a little bit of color. If you're not, you can always go back through and tighten up a little bit more if you want. Or if you still have purple, you may have to fully undo it and give yourself a longer tail or some. So yeah, let me backtrack here. So if you make it to like this, you're good. If you didn't have enough purple, you need to undo a few clusters, at least the last 2 clusters, and do them a little bit tighter. So this way you can make it to the end. If you make it to the end and you still have too much purple, either your clusters were too tight or your tail wasn't long enough. Like the tail part, it does, but it doesn't really matter. I think it's more based on how well you start, how tight or loose your clusters are. I know it's very confusing. It's very confusing me sometimes still, but that's why I figured out it's all based on this part. Tail, kind of does. So this is where I do it differently, is after my slip stitch, we have the square, okay? And then I turn it wrong side facing, do another slip stitch, so we're like this, and then I start the next round. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me zoom back out now a little bit. And then let's do our next round. So we're going to do 2 more double crochets to give us our first cluster. And then we're going to chain 1. And then we're going to do our corner, which is 3 double crochets. This one I have to do, for me, a little looser. Not much, but a little bit looser. So for this one, I'm going to do chain 3 in the corners. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 more double crochets. Chain 1. I'm going to do another corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. And then I chain 1 again. And then another cluster. How much more do I got before I get to the next color? Okay. And make sure you see it. Forgot to see how much I had left. Alright. Let's do this last corner. Well, not really the last, but second to last corner. Chain 3. Okay. Now that I'm at this part, get out of here, tail. I like to see how much I got left working with. And because I've already done several of these, I've already figured it out. Just eyeballing it sometimes. But if you think you know you can get 3 more, chain 1, 3 double crochets and 3 chains, then go for it. If not, then go back and tighten up a little bit. So we're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets. I am not really sure if I'm going to get it. I think I may be too loose. Yeah. Actually, I was too tight. See? So once I do the chain 3, it's going to be too much left over. Oh, maybe. Hang on. Maybe not. Just turn, slip stitch. Turn. Yeah, it's just a hair too much for me, for my preference. So I'm going to go back to at least this corner. Chain, where the chain 3 is. And here. Oops. Try that again. So I'm going to go a little bit looser. Oh, there's that thunder again. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to pick up on the camera or not. Yep, still not enough. See, I still, even though I figured out these tips and tricks, I still have sometimes issues because every day is different when you crochet. Some days you may get it one day, but then the next day your tension's going to be off just a little bit. So you just got to keep working at it and just make sure you write like little tips down for yourself so you know. Like, I just went super loose on that one. There we go. Alright, now we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. Sure we are. There we go. My hands are not wanting to cooperate today. Alright. So then we're going to turn it around, right side facing us. We're going to slip stitch. And there's our square so far. I like doing the method of turning it back and forth because it gives it more of a perfect grinding square and it doesn't get that wonky look once it's finished. It may look wonky, but it's not wonky yet. Okay. So for round 3, this is a little bit different. Instead of a chain 3 in the corners, I do a chain 2. And my tension I have right now is, for me, is a normal tension. So it's kind of a looser tension, but kind of not. So we're gonna, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So see, you got a little coloring right there, but it's also more of the teal than it is anything. Let's see again. There we go. Gonna do 2 double crochets. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna chain 1. We're gonna do 3 double crochets in this spot. Like so. Chain 1 again. Now in this corner, like I said, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna do 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and then 3 more double crochets all in that corner. So there we have our corner. And we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So the chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, so on and so forth. Then we get to the next corner. We have our 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more. 3 more double crochets, I should say. Sorry about that. I am not very good at these type of videos. I am still learning. So we have 2 sides completely done. And then, see how much yarn we got left in this color. Okay, there's the end of it. Alright. So we're going to chain 1. And then we're going to do a cluster or 3 double crochets in this space. Chain 1. We're going to make our corner. 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets again in the same spot. Oh, excuse me again. Okay, so we have a chain 1, a cluster, chain 1, another cluster, and then a chain 2 to go. I think I should have enough. I may tighten it up just a little bit just to make sure I make it all the way. But it looks like I should have it. Yeah, I might tighten up just a little bit, not much. Just tighten my tension up. And we'll do our last cluster. 1, 2, and 3. And we're gonna go 1, 2. I don't know how I'm feeling about that. Let's see what it looks like once I chain. Well, once I slip stitch. What does it look like? I don't know. I'm kind of okay with that. Let's see here. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. So Let's see. Ooh, there we go. This is after round 3. Obviously, you can see some color in there, but that's from the previous round, which is fine with me. Obviously, you're going to get that no matter what, I think, personally speaking. But that's round 3. Now we're going to go round 4. Round 4 is going to be like 3. Round 3, we're going to only do 2 double crochets in the corner. We're going to only do 2 chains in the corner. Sorry about that. I'm getting tongue-tied here. So, what'd I do? Hang on. I think I may have messed up here. Oh, no, I didn't. Don't mind me. I got myself all confused again. Alright. 1. Actually, no, it's going to bother me. A little bit tighter. And chain 2. Not much better, but a little bit. Alright. So now we're going to turn. Wrong side facing. Going to make a slip stitch into that chain space. And we're going to start round 4 with a chain 3. 2 double crochets. And then a chain 1. And then at each spot we're going to do 3 double crochets with a chain 1 in between. I think for this one I'm using just like a normal tension. Like I said, it's not too light, not too tight, not too loose. Just a normal tension. To me, it's normal tension. It's, like I said, it's really hard to figure out where your tension needs to be, but I think just practicing with it and figuring out, okay, do I need to go a little bit looser or a little bit tighter this round? Because each round I've noticed is different on how you need your tension to be. And I don't think they really put that in the notes of the pattern. So in the corner, we're going to do 3 double crochets. Remember, we're only chaining 2, so 1, 2, and then 3 more double crochets. And chain 1, and we make our cluster. And then another chain 1, and another cluster. Back at the corner, do 3 double crochets, and then chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. So we're up to having 2 sides done. See how much yarn we got left in this color before we go to white. Alright. Now that I made a mess for myself. Alright, now we're going to chain 1. Keep on going till the other corner. So we're at the corner, and I'm realizing I have this much yarn left. Oh. That much yarn left. There we go. I may make it, I may not. I'm not really sure yet. So we're going to do our chain 2. And 3 more double crochets. Maybe I'll tighten up just a little bit. Not much, just a little bit on my tension. Let's see if we make it. It's just a lot of trial and error with this yarn. I thought it was cool when they came out with it, and it's like, oh, it's all in one and everything else, and it's like, yeah, it's cool, but, you know, not everyone uses the same tension when crocheting. Alright, so I have that much left after my chain 2. Maybe I didn't have to tighten up. What does it look like after I go like this? Technically, it's partially white, so you have 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it's not too bad. I don't think it is. So if we go back, after we did the slip stitch into the chain 3, we had that much left over in the pink. And then when you turn it, you're gonna go in the chain space. You're gonna want to grab it and you're gonna slip stitch. So now we are right side up, and this is what we're looking like after round 4. Fortunately, we got some purple there, but that's just the way the yarn was with the coloring. So I'm not worried about my squares. You know, if the color is showing a little bit from a previous, I'm not worried about it because it's not much. I can be a perfectionist when it comes to like this type of stuff, but with these, I've been like, okay with it because it's not much. So on this round, we are going to, the tension, it can vary on how you're going to need this. But when it comes to the corners, we're going to do a chain 3 now. So 1, 2, 3 to start out. We're going to do 2 more double crochets there in the corner. Our chain 1, and then we're gonna do chain 1, 3 double crochets in each space across until we get to the corner. And little hairs everywhere because of our cats. My cats like to climb everywhere. Alright, so we're coming up on our first corner. Alright. So we're going to do our chain 1. We're going to do 3 double crochets. Like I said, we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then 3 more double crochets in that corner. Ooh. I messed that one up. Pull it out and redo that one. So you get that nice, crisp, pointy kind of corner. And as you can see, there is a little bit of a hint of pink in the yarn, but that's just something from when they manufactured it. Chain 1. And then we'll just keep repeating this all the way around. Don't forget to do your chain 1s in between. I know when I do regular granny squares, I don't do a chain in between, but for this pattern, you kind of have to. Alright, coming up on our next corner. Do 3 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then 3 more double crochets. So we get a nice little corner again. You got 2 nice little corners. Again, chain 1, do your next cluster. And then when I first started trying these out, here just a few days ago, it was actually when I figured all this out, I would keep forgetting to put the chain 1 in. So I had to go back and I'm like, I had a few choice words. Always forget that chain 1. Which did I do in this one? Yes, okay. Because you'd be like, You're sitting there watching like a TV show or something and just like crocheting, and it's like, crap, forgot that. And then, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we just did our third corner. Alright. See what we're looking at. So this is what we're looking at so far. Not bad. Then we're going to pull out, see how much we got till we get to purple. Alright. So then we get to the purple. This is how much white we got. Let's see how we end. Chain 1. Keep going. It's starting to come down pretty good out there with the rain. Oh, there we go. Yep, there's my chain 1, okay. Will I make it? I don't know. I'm thinking I may have to end up backtracking a little bit. Yeah, I only got that much left. Yeah, I only got 2 and I got left. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull some of these clusters out. We'll go to the corner, but we'll only do the last cluster out. So we got our chain 3 right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and do a little bit tighter of stitches. And see if that works out. Because my tension was apparently a little too loose getting there towards the end. I notice that when I'm crocheting, like sometimes my tension will change as I'm crocheting. And it's so annoying. But we're only human, it happens. Here's the corner, okay. 1, 2, 3. Damn it. That's what always gets me. Yeah, like I said, this yarn is very finicky to work with. Alright, so we'll take out that whole area. See what we can do now. I think if I remember right, the last row on this round, I would go a little bit tighter just to make sure I had enough, if I remember right. And of course, I didn't write that part down in my notes, because, yeah, apparently I forgot to. Almost there. Hopefully we got it this time. Okay, that's a little bit better. So yeah, I went and pulled all the way back to this one, took this part out, and then just went through and tightened it up a little bit. So we're going to do our chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then slip stitch into the chain, top of the chain. Alright. So, forgot my scissors. Wonderful. But anyways, so we'll say, okay, put this there. So there's your square, all finished. Now, because I didn't leave with much white left off, I will end up clipping this Let's say probably about this much off the purple. And hang on, let me just give it some scissors. Alright, so I'm back, and I thought I hit record, but apparently I didn't, but obviously I've already clipped off the end. As you can see, I clipped off starting into the new color for the next square, just so I can have a long enough tail, which, you know, some people would be like, oh, you can't do that, but trust me, it's perfectly fine, because there is still plenty of color left out, plenty for when you start the next square. So, there is a square. It's annoying because, you know, their color bleeds, so you get some pink in your white, and it's just like annoying, but it's still pretty cool. Now if you're curious to see if there's going to be enough of your starting color for your next square, let's grab the yarn. Alright, so we'll start another square just to see if there's enough of color 1. It's just an estimated tail length. Let's see how long this actually came out. This part I never measure, I just eyeball it. So it's about 5.5, I think. Something like that. So we'll get this square done up. Or circle. Let's see here. There it is. I think the reason why they leave so much of color 1 is so you can use it at the end of color 5. Even though it doesn't say in the notes. Hands are a little cold because it's cold out and raining. Let's see here. Alright, we got one more corner to create. Oops. Let's do our last cluster. Alright, let's do our chain 3. Slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 we made at the beginning. And then for my pattern, turn, slip stitch. So clearly it still works and have enough left over. Like, I can make this shorter, I can make it long. Well, I wouldn't make it any longer, but yeah. So you could take off at the end of your squares. You can snip some of color 1 at the end of this, because there's obviously still going to be enough to make the beginning of your next square. So that's what I would do. So there you have it. My little figuring out on how to conquer these all-in-one granny squares, all-in-one, however you want to call them. They are tricky, and it is, a lot of it's just based on your tension, and you just gotta find that rhythm that's gonna work with it. But I have found, you know, doing the first 2 rounds with a chain 3, and then round 3 and 4 with just chains 2 in the corners, and then you ending with a chain 3 on the final round. It helps with your tension and balance the square out, and it just works really well. Like, let's see. Let's look at this pattern real quick. Yes, sir. Alright. Trying to do all this video before my son gets home. Due to be home soon. Let's see. Does it even show how to do this? Let's see. Okay, I'm reading the pattern. This doesn't even show the pattern on how to make the granny square. Unless I'm overlooking it. Okay, so it says when your square is complete, cut yarn with color 5, the longest color ends, leaving a tail to weave it in. It doesn't say anything about being able to cut into the next color. You know, it's perfectly fine because there's actually more than enough of the very first color to use. So like I said, I just cut into the next color with no problem and still have plenty of left. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Here is this again, just little notes. And hopefully this video helps you guys out, and thank you for taking time to watch this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.